Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for the Walking Dead universe. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead universe Q&A video. We're also going to talk about some comments that Norman Reedus made about the Season 2 finale of Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol, and it sounds like this finale is the greatest Walking Dead episode of all time. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for the Walking Dead universe. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another Q&A video, guys. We're going to go over some of your Q&A comments that I asked you guys to leave for this week's Q&A. It's been a couple weeks since we've done a Walking Dead universe Q&A. I'm trying to stay consistent with these, of course, because, you know, during the off-season, this is a good time for us to touch base and talk about Walking Dead information and stuff like that during the off-season. But there's just been no Walking Dead news lately. It's been a really big drought. And we're going to talk about that a little bit because we have some questions from you guys regarding that as well. So starting off for today with Norman Reedus, he has a minor kind of mention about the Daryl Dixon finale. It sounds like he was asked about it recently, and he therefore replied that this is apparently, according to him at least, the Season 2 finale of Daryl Dixon is truly the best Walking Dead episode in Walking Dead history. So what do we kind of make of this? Well, I mean, that's a load of confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the first thing I thought when I heard that. I was just like, that is a really big statement considering how many great Walking Dead episodes there is. And, you know, as amazing as that comment is, and as amazing as it is to hear that, I genuinely think that the Season 2 finale of Daryl Dixon will be really good. I do think it's going to be a great episode. The best Walking Dead episode of all time, oh man, that's going to be tough to beat, to be honest. I mean, you're going up against episodes like What Comes After, you know what I'm saying, with Scott Wilson's final performance on television, you know what I'm saying? Like Rick Grimes' send-off to the main Walking Dead. You know, we're talking about Days Gone By over here. We're talking about No Way Out. We're talking about some of these classic episodes like No Sanctuary, Too Far Gone, you know? Like, I really have a hard time believing that the Daryl Dixon finale is going to be the best episode and beat out all of those. I'm not saying it's impossible. You could do it, but that's a really, really high standard, to be honest, especially for an episode that I know for a fact is not going to have Rick in it, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, honestly, we'll see. It's really a just big we'll see, but I thought it was a pretty ballsy statement from Norman Reedus, I'm not going to lie, to just kind of come out there and say that, you know? Yeah, we'll have to see. I'd like to see the season, damn it. I'd like to see that, you know? At least get some information on it, but time will tell, of course. Time will tell. We got to be patient. So, yeah, but Daryl Dixon Season 2 finale, we'll have to see what it is. We'll have to see why it's so good, according to Norman Reedus, and why it's truly the best Walking Dead episode of all time. Do you guys think it will be? I don't think it will, but I think it'll be a great episode. I just think they're kind of overhyping it a little bit. Now, let's get into all these comments here. So, starting off with Megamat and Arya, who have a similar question. Dan, do you think that The Walking Dead has gone through its biggest drought currently right now, where the franchise stands? The franchise just kind of feels a little stale, kind of dry. Let me know your thoughts. So, no, I agree with both of you, Megamat and Arya. I do think the franchise currently right now is kind of going through a little bit of a drought. Mostly because we have 2 active spin-offs right now, rather than like 5, which we used to have, which is not a bad thing because I always prefer quality over quantity, but there's like nothing happening right now. Like, seriously, there's like nothing going on. Dead City's currently filming. Daryl Dixon has been done filming. That finished filming like last year. So I don't know why the fuck they're taking so long for Daryl Dixon Season 2. Because honestly, it almost feels like they're at a point now with Daryl Dixon where they're just like, we'll just hold it off, you know, because we want people to wait, you know, because we know that Dead City won't be ready this fall, you know. That's a lot of what Daryl Dixon feels like right now. It feels like, okay, they clearly have a season ready. They're just going to hold it off because they don't think the Dead City is going to be ready in time, which, you know, thing is with that, to be honest, I would not mind, you know, a couple months off in the fall of no Walking Dead and we build up to Dead City. I'd be totally fine with that. You know, if Daryl Dixon is ready, if Season 2 is ready, definitely release that. Because, again, Walking Dead, and I think the main reason why people are feeling a little bit of a drought right now I think it really has something to do with the fact that the main villain of the franchise just got wrapped up, you know what I'm saying? At least the current day villain of the franchise with the CRM. You know, in the main series, they were teased, and World Beyond, they were in it big time. Ones Who Lived, they were in there, you know, and now seeing the CRM is just kind of wrapped up, and Rick and Michonne are mostly kind of, you know, wrapped up, I like to say. I feel like that's what's kind of creating this drought, is that happened, and then now there's like no big villain that's like overarching, like leading the franchise, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't say the French and Daryl Dixon, that's one show, you know what I'm saying? There's not an overarching villain, there's not an overarching threat in the franchise, and CRM was hyped up to be that, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't get that. And now Daryl Dixon is releasing jack shit for information. Dead City is not coming out until next year, and I think that's what's making this drought happen right now. I do agree that there is a drought going on, and they need to fix it soon. They really do. You know, I've heard some people say, like, oh, Dan, maybe, you know, they'll wait until Comic-Con to release the trailer. I'm like, the fuck they are? No, man. You promised summer. Please, God, tell me we don't have to wait that long to get something new for Walking Dead universe, you know? If we do, we do, but that would be really, really long. That'd be like another 2 months, you know what I'm saying? So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see when this drought kind of, you know, breaks, and when we eventually get our Daryl Season 2 trailer. You know what I'm saying? That'd be really good. I would hope to see that at some point in time soon, but time will tell, of course. Next one comes from Marcel, who says that, Dan, what do you think you would do if you were in Scott Gimple's position and you could overarching take over the Walking Dead franchise? What would you do different from Scott Gimple, and how would you take over the franchise? Now, this is a very long, detailed question if I had to actually go over it fully, you know, and it would take a while for me to explain. But just to put it brief for the Q&A, I would say that honestly, if I was in charge and if Scott Gimple was kicked out and I had the steering wheel to this franchise and I had to, you know, do something quick and I had to, you know, do something, you know, pretty quickly to, you know, get the franchise back on its, you know, feet, it'd be this simple. You would have 2 more seasons of Daryl Dixon because that's already ordered. You would already have 2 more. Dead City, you would have 3 seasons, right? You'd let them do 1 more, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to cut Dead City off, you know, with its 2nd season, and then it probably ends on a cliffhanger. You don't want to do that. So I would give Daryl Dixon a 3rd season and Dead City a 3rd season. 2 more seasons for each, you know. Figure out your ending in some kind of way, you know, with your 3rd seasons. And then after that, when those 2 seasons are set and done, you have a final season of The Walking Dead. If you want to consider it Season 12, then you could consider it Season 12. We would rebrand it, and it would be a final season of either you want to do 10, 16, 20 episodes, doesn't matter to me. And you bring all the characters from the franchise back. You bring all the people from The Walking Dead. Yes, even Fear the Walking Dead, make that show matter. You would bring back everybody, you know, involved, aside from maybe a few dipshits from World Beyond. You would bring everybody else back, and you would have a big crossover event with everybody together in one final season. You would bring everybody together. You would have big interactions between, you know, Rick and Madison, Negan, Strand, you know. Really cool interactions between everybody. And by the time that everything's all over, and by the time that, you know, everything's all said and done, we will have the crossover of all time. And by the end of the series, you would have the big, you know, time skip. Everybody would be in one place. And the reason why you followed Walking Dead for all these years is because it was all meant to kind of come together and collide. You know what I'm saying? Now, in terms of a big enemy threat or a big, you know, antagonist or whatever, well, I hate to say it, I'm fresh out. Mostly because my theory back in the day was that CRM would be the big threat that would bring everybody together. And that's why we were seeing them in all the different shows, you know? But because they fucking wiped them out like a bunch of idiots, then, you know, it's like, I don't know. Now I don't know what the hell they would do, you know? So that's the only part. I'm not going to lie. I would really be screwed on that. You know, the franchise has reached a point where even I don't know what I would be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Because Gimple seriously fucked himself over with getting rid of the CRM as quick as he did. He really, really did. So I don't know. I wouldn't do any kind of cure shit. I wouldn't do any kind of bullshit like that, or like, oh, the virus was man-made or blah, blah, blah. It's a generic trope. It's very overdone at this point. He should have just had the CRM. He really should have had the CRM. Delve into their characters more, delve into what they do more, and make that the final antagonist. You don't get bigger than CRM. You don't. Taking over an entire country, trying to fucking kill a bunch of settlements to help yourself, you know, out, you know? Like, you don't get a bigger threat than that. I don't know what the hell Gimple's thinking. I really don't. But, you know, too little too late, I guess. I would not be able to repair this franchise. I'm going to be honest with you. But if I had CRM at my disposal and I had all the characters that I wanted, then maybe I'd be able to do something. Yeah, absolutely. But until then, no. Gimple fucked this franchise over. He really did. Sorry, that's the honest truth. He really did. He fucked it over, and honestly, whatever he does now, I'm just here for the fun. I'm not here for this grand franchise anymore. I'm just here for the fun because Gimple absolutely killed his chance at doing something really, really cool. He really did. But, you know, again, time will tell. We'll see what he does. We'll see what he, you know, does with France and, you know, all this other stuff, the Barrazi and the gang leaders in New York and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be anything major like the CRM, to be honest, but, you know, maybe maybe I'll be proven wrong. We'll have to see. Next one comes from Jichi Kai, who says that Dan, two questions. First off, what is your favorite between the main show, the spin-offs, the comic book series universe, or the game franchise? Also, Dan, honestly, I would like to see more spin-offs related to outbreaks and stuff like that. Maybe a new spin-off about the early days of the apocalypse, rather than always staying in the later sequel type of content. They basically missed the days where we got to see outbreak stuff all the time and that type of thing. So, I'm not 100% sure what you mean by the second question, I'm going to be honest, because, you know, obviously Daryl Dixon just had an outbreak scene in its show, obviously. Although, if you're talking about having a spin-off in the, like that time or something like that, maybe with a new cast of characters or something like that, I'd be fine with it. You know, one of the things that I always said, you know, and I think it would be really interesting to see is if Walking Dead actually had balls and did a spinoff on characters that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I noticed that's kind of a recent trope with Walking Dead ever since about 2018 when they did the Morgan crossover, is that they always kind of have to have somebody from the main Walking Dead or at least one of the spinoffs included in a new cast of characters, you know? Like World Beyond, it wasn't working, so they threw Jadis in there. Fear the Walking Dead wasn't working, so they threw Morgan in there, you know? Tales of the Walking Dead, it didn't sound too good, so they threw Alpha in there, you know? And then obviously the new age of spinoffs like Dead City, Daryl Dixon, Ones Who Live, that's just around the, you know, the main characters, that's fine, but do you notice that they don't have the balls to make a spinoff on new characters? You notice that? And I'll tell you why. It's because they know that Fear the Walking Dead didn't do well. They know that Tales didn't do well. They know that World Beyond didn't do well. And you know what I always say to those, you know, people that, you know, make those decisions? I'm like, well, then make better fucking spinoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, then we wouldn't have this problem. Because, you know, I would love to see, and I've said this many times before, how about a spinoff in Russia? How about a spinoff in, you know, I don't know, Australia? We've never seen that before, you know, with a new cast of characters, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would be so good, you know, like, imagine seeing a cast of characters in Australia that went down to Australia for a family vacation, a family trip or something, and they got trapped out there in Australia while the outbreak was going down. And they were trying to call their you know, family and friends and all that stuff, you know, down in the US, and then they, like, hear what's going on, and they find out that it's worldwide. You could expand the universe and, you know, really phone it in that it's worldwide. And then this guy and his family try to escape in, you know, Australia or something like that. You know, right there you have a concept, and you can roll with something like that. You know what I'm saying? Get a good actor, get some charisma, boom, you could make something like that work. I wish Walking Dead had balls to do spinoffs on characters that we've never met before. You know what I'm saying? You know, I love Daryl, I love Rick, I love Dead City, but we need to expand things. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to keep this franchise going, if we're going to keep this franchise alive, which it appears like Gimple is really fighting to do, then we gotta start doing some more original stuff. We gotta start doing some stuff that actually is ballsy in this franchise. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like lately it's just all been like, oh man, okay, we're going to do a spinoff. Well, it has to be on a character from the main Walking Dead. We don't always have to do spinoffs on the main Walking Dead. We can do a spinoff on something in the Walking Dead canon with new Walking Dead characters. You know, the only way that you're ever going to, you know, keep your franchise around is by introducing new characters, you know what I'm saying? If it's just consistent like, oh, like, you know, Rick and Daryl and Negan and stuff like that, and again, I like those characters, but eventually those characters will be wrapped up, and if you want to keep your franchise around, you have to start introducing new characters. That's all I'm saying, you know? And it just doesn't feel like Walking Dead has the balls to do that anymore. So I don't think, to answer your question a lot less simply than I was originally planning, what I'm trying to say is that we really should get more, you know, like breakout stuff and like early days stuff in the apocalypse and maybe different parts of the world, but they're always going to do it with Walking Dead characters, you know? They're always going to have Daryl go to France, or, you know, Maggie and Negan go to Dead City, and then we see it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really wish that they would just have the balls to do an original Walking Dead story with new characters, and it's not focused on anybody we know, but it's in that world. I think that'd be fantastic, but I don't know if we'll ever get something like that. I don't know if we ever will. I guess, we'll have to see. I guess we'll just have to see. Now, in terms of which one do I prefer, yeah, the main series. Absolutely. The main series, 100%. Although I will say the spinoffs, kind of wishy-washy for me. Comic book, really enjoy the comics, really enjoy those. And then the Telltale games, pretty good as well, too. So, Walking Dead, pretty good brand overall. I'd say the main series, though, is definitely my favorite over everything, It's what I started with. It's what I had the most passion for, is the main Walking Dead series, the main TV series. And that's what I'd say for that, yeah. The next one comes from User, who says that, Dan, honestly, do you think that they should just scrap the crossover series at this point, seeing how they just did away with the CRM? Yeah, man. That's the tough question. That is the toughest question to answer so far. Mostly because, on one hand, I really wanted the CRM to survive, and I'm really pissed that they killed them off the way that they did and ended that, military storyline. But on the opposite side, we need a crossover. Walking Dead is not complete with just Daryl, Dixon in Spain and Dead City, Negan and Maggie in New York. That's not, that's not complete. We need, one more, big thing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure a lot of people could agree with me on it. Thing is, what the fuck is going to be your enemy? I sure as shit hope it's not Mason Beale, for fuck's sakes, From World Beyond, the friggin' idiot son, I hope that's not what they're doing. But, we need some kind of threat. So you know what I'd say? No, we still need the crossover series because there's reunions that need to happen, like Rick and Daryl, Rick and Morgan, certain things like that. We need to see everybody merge together, Even if we don't see the Fear characters or the World Beyond characters, at least the main Walking Dead characters, we need a crossover of some kind, you know what I'm saying? And until we get that, I don't think a lot of people are going to be that satisfied. So, we need that. In terms of what the threat's going to be, well, I can tell you one thing right now. I'm still gunning for a crossover series, although, second of all, Gimple, you fucked up. You fucked up big time. I'm sorry, you absolutely fucked up, because you had the entire franchise building up this setup for this group. You had it all, man. You really did. And instead, you did a fucking love story and killed them off like they were absolutely nothing. And then, focused on love doesn't die. I'm like, oh my god, I want to fucking puke. You know what I'm saying? Holy fuck, man. I get it's a love story. I get you love each other, but let's get some villains going. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some shit, going down, But no, love doesn't die, You destroyed our chance, I'm like, holy fuck, man. Honestly, that was my first time with Walking Dead, main show type content where I was like, I'm cringing right now. I can't lie to you. That was pretty fucking shit. So, there you go. But, yeah, Gimple screwed up. What else can I say? Gimple screwed up. Do I want a crossover, connecting series? Absolutely. Do I think that Gimple screwed up and he's going to destroy all chance? Definitely. The next one comes from Master, who says that, Dan, do you think that maybe you could do some kind of in-between gap type of season where you end up doing a fan fiction series of what happened between Fear the Walking Dead Season 3 and Season 4? Maybe something to consider down the line. Yeah, that definitely could be something we do down the line. I don't know how many people would watch that, though, to be honest, because, Fear the Walking Dead's been wrapped up for, a little while, and it's not the most popular series in the world. Not to mention, I also have World Gone Bad that I'm writing right now, my own zombie apocalypse story. If you guys don't know what that is, I do have my own zombie apocalypse story. Not to mention, I've got, other projects I'm kind of writing right now. So it wouldn't be anytime soon, but, maybe doing a fan fiction of what happened between Season 3 to Season 4. It'd be cool. The only thing that I would probably struggle with from a writing perspective is how jarring it would be to turn the characters into pacifists. You know what I'm saying? Like Madison in Season 4, how preachy she was and shit, I feel like that would be the most jarring piece. But, we could do it down the line, definitely, maybe explore more of the Proctors and stuff like that. We kind of did that with the Fear the Walking Dead rewrites, though, so maybe I'll just kind of leave it with that. But, never say never. We could definitely do some kind of, bridge, type of thing or something, But, yeah, definitely not impossible. And the last one comes from Shimol, who says that, Dan, do you think that we could get confirmation now in the Daryl Dixon series that Rick is back and that they could just let that secret out of the bag? Yeah, I kind of hope that they do. I hope that Carol tells Daryl that Rick is back. That's the expected thing. If she keeps that a secret from him, that's going to piss me off. But, you know, hopefully that's not the direction that we're going down. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Great questions, y'all. Seriously. We got more from you guys as well that I'm also going to be getting to. So if your question wasn't answered in this one, don't worry. We got another one coming up next week to, of course, keep the Walking Dead discussion going as much as we can during this kind of drought, I would like to say, for Walking Dead universe. So post comments, post theories down below. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos of The Walking Dead. Be sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys very soon for more videos of The Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.